today's webinar, what are we talking about today? Having said everything about us, we're going to be talking about, I'm going to go over, because we have a decent group. And so I do want to talk a little bit about marketing, funnels, and flywheels. And I know some people are going to be experts about it, and they'll be like, you're wasting my time. And others who are just kind of understanding it. The reason for that discussion would be, I just want it to be in the forefront of your mind as we go into the live ChatGPT demonstration. And then we're also going to talk about how ChatGPT can assist, and then we're going to actually show you how different use cases of ChatGPT. Now, how ChatGPT specifically started off with myself and the firm, and how we got introduced to ChatGPT. I think it was last November. And this is actually not just a ChatGPT story, but it'll show you how strong references can be for any business. So I had a referral partner who was messaging me. He's like, dude, you got to check out ChatGPT. Now, I'm a tech guy, and as much as I'm a tech guy, I like to build, or I like to be around a team that builds their own tech. But a lot of this stuff, my kind of mantra is, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? I don't have a lot of time, and I'm sure a lot of you have a similar perspective. You don't have a lot of time trying to pick up new tech that will marginally increase how productive you are, but the amount of time that you spend, you could be spending getting more business or in another area of your business to make sure that you can enhance it. Now, for me, that's why when I was younger, I was a tech guy. Whenever there was anything new that came out, I would always be looking at it, whatever. As you get older, obviously, it's not even just about, hey, I want to stick to my ways. It's about, I've got a lot of responsibilities, and I don't have the capacity right now to actually learn this new tech. So I ignored him. And then he kept coming back after a week or two, and he's like, listen, like, you really have to try this. Look at what it did. And so one night, after putting my kid to sleep, I was like, okay, let me check this out. It was like 9. And I kid you not, I worked through that ChatGPT. I was addicted until like 4 a.m. And normally I go to bed pretty early. My toddler will wake me up sometimes. He's like 18 months. So, I mean, the Ferber method didn't work on him, but ChatGPT did, because I outlasted him that night. Because he cried, and as I was consoling him, I was still on ChatGPT, because it was just revolutionizing every single thing. I was like thinking of all the capabilities and all the things that we could do, and like, this is the next industrial revolution. It's going to change a lot of things. I come to work the next day, and I talked to Umar. Umar has the same kind of story, same perspective. Dude, I was checking it out. It was amazing. So what did we do? We got 2 of our associates, and we dedicated them on this entire platform for the next 2 weeks. And we gave them different assignments: do this, do this, do this, do this, just so we can understand what the limits are, what's the capability. And it just was, they were astonished as well. So they did not know what to say. And since then, as you can imagine, actually, there's a lot of law firms that are investing in ChatGPT, because first and second year lawyers may be out of a job, because a lot of this stuff ChatGPT can do. But long story short, we were like, this is amazing. So our natural kind of outlay is, whenever we learn something, we got our core group of partners that we work with. We immediately disseminate it to them, our information, because when the tide rises, all the boats rise, and that's kind of our perspective. And so they started looking at it. They were amazed as well. And so now we started kind of going to the public and saying, hey, listen, like, everybody needs to understand this. This is going to change how you do things. So that's kind of how we were in ChatGPT. Outside of that, given that, now I'm going to take a step back from ChatGPT. We're going to talk a little bit about marketing, funnels, and flywheels. Again, bear with me. It's not going to take too long. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to brush up on a lot of this, so that you guys, this is on the forefront of your mind as we move into ChatGPT. Now, I am going through this pretty quickly, because I do want to I want to get into the demo. I know that's what a lot of people are here, but I still want to make sure that you guys are properly kind of in the right frame of mind. If anyone does have questions, just put them in the chat as we go through. We will answer as many as we can. If not, we would email you out the answers, or you could always email us any questions as well. We would be happy to answer any questions. So taking a step back, we've got the tech piece out of the way. I'm looking at more now marketing funnels and flywheels. Now, to a lot of professionals, marketing, I mean, everybody knows marketing is a no-brainer. If I don't know how many of you actually listen to Grant Cardone. If people don't know you, they're not going to flow you. So I don't know how that makes sense, but what makes sense to me is if they don't know you, they're not going to give you any business. So my kind of perspective is, even though, I mean, for me, it's always marketing has to be one of the top priorities of any business. You can have the best service in the world. It's not the best service that wins. It is the best known service. And that can be a very tricky thing to navigate through. So 8 touch points for a conversion on average. I would argue would be higher for realtors. 60% of customers say no 4 times before saying yes. 80% of sales require 5 follow-up calls. 44% of salespeople give up after 1 follow-up call, and 56% of sales professionals get leads from existing customer referrals. Now, if you guys have been going through your training, obviously none of this stuff is new to you. The stats may not be exactly the same, but they're similar. The point is when any business, whether you're a law firm, a realtor, mortgage broker, whatever it may be, you're not going to get business just the first time you shake hands. And I know everybody's in that situation. Everybody has been in that situation when they first started out. Your first day as a realtor, you thought you were going to shake hands with somebody, and they knew you, you gave them a business card, and now you could just wait until they called you up and asked you to list their home. Now, 1 in a million that may have worked, but I doubt it worked for a lot of guys. And then you slowly realize, hey, listen, one time is not going to cut it. We got to constantly be reaching out. We have to constantly be making sure that we're front of mind. They know who we are. They know who we stand for, and we build that trust. And so we build that trust, and then once they've trusted us, they're going to come, and whenever they need it, they're going to obviously refer everything to us. Now, that's kind of what marketing is all about. Now, one of the things that people kind of look at, this is very prominent, is a marketing funnel. So you throw something at the top of the funnel, you'll be advertising, whether it's brand awareness on a bus campaign or social media ads. Again, once people get or a lot of professionals, again, realtors, mortgage brokers, lawyers, whoever they are, when they start getting into the advertising domain, once they've gotten really good with their close network and they get into the advertising domain, they think, again, you know what, I'm going to put my face on that bus and the phone's going to start ringing nonstop. And that's not the case. That's only because you're only going to have one touch point. They're going to know that you exist, and then they may go home and they may Google you. And if you have enough content, they might subscribe to something. And if they subscribe to something, they get a few things, and after a while, they build that trust. So that's the marketing funnel. So you get awareness, interest, decision, and action. So, I mean, obviously, there's 5 million different marketing funnels. Honestly, the concept is the same, that you go from awareness to actually taking your services in. And so that is incredibly important. And then that middle portion is the most important, where how are you nurturing those leads as they go down the funnel? And with that, obviously, one of the biggest things is a lead nurturing campaign. And so that is the marketing funnel. Flywheel is a relatively new concept, and it's a very important concept. A lot of people understand if they've done the networking within their close group and they've got business in, if they've done the advertising and they've got business in, they realize how much of a drag, how many headwinds there are to get clients in. And so what you want to do is, once you get to that, the concept of a flywheel is, once you've got them to use your services, use that momentum to move into their network. Right? So you want to be engaging with them, whether it's while they're working with you, you give them such an amazing experience that next Thanksgiving dinner, they're not talking about the new house, they're talking about the realtor or the mortgage broker or the lawyer who was their team who helped them get that. So it's an entire experience. So you're moving them towards a more of a brand ambassador than just I've got a house. Because I think, at least for realtors, I don't know about lawyers because lawyers tend to come off as boring, but realtors, you're already helping your clients make a very emotional decision, like buying a house where you see your next 5-10 years, you're gonna maybe get married, maybe have kids, maybe just party, whatever it is. You're going to be looking at a very emotional decision, and if you can couple your services with that, that is great momentum to then slingshot you forward and into their network and have them kind of do the, I guess, campaigning for you. Because I know a lot of people are like, you send out, hey, emails or whatever it is, or cards, a referral would be great. But the flywheel concept is you do that, those touch points are there, but they're already on your team. Now, so what's the marketing challenges that realtors face today? So if you go to a brokerage, and in any brokerage, you're going to have shared resources. And those are not developing unique experiences. So something unique is unique to yourself. Like, I could be an amazing real estate lawyer, but I'm not going to talk and speak the way that Umar is. I know that the way I'm talking right now is going to resonate with some of you. It's not going to resonate with all of you, right? So you need unique experiences, that you need to at least help try to build out unique experiences that call the right people to your personality, to how you conduct business, to how you conduct yourself. And that is not there with the shared resources, because everybody's going to get the market report or whatever it is that they're going to be shooting out. And if chances are, if anybody who's potentially trying to buy a house or list a house, they've subscribed to more than one realtor. And if they're getting the same content from everyone, then you're just a nobody. The alternative to that is hiring a marketing firm. It's either expensive or very expensive. Marketing firms have shared resources. There's an element of it, but if you want a complete unique experience, it gets very expensive very quickly, and not everyone can do that right. I mean, definitely no one can do that right away, and nor should they, because especially in the beginning, when you are understanding your area in the business, you're also kind of figuring out your style, your branding. All of that is being figured out. And if you just start from day one and think you're going to hire a very expensive marketing firm to do all this crazy stuff, you're going to have no idea. They're not going to have any idea. You're not going to be able to give them any real direction. But even when you get to that point, you're going to be it's time consuming. It costs a lot of money, and it's not for everyone. Now, the last option is to do it yourself. Do it yourself. I mean, obviously, a lot of professionals are the CEO of everything, and it gets one of the things here. It's time consuming. It takes your focus away. It can be confusing because you're learning something. But the other thing is also a lot of professionals really need to learn how to delegate portions of it and how to delegate it, because if you spend the next 10 hours mastering social media marketing, and you could have spent that time getting one more listing, I mean, it more than pays off anything that you've paid the marketing. So it really is figuring out where to put your time. So doing it yourself is something that with the assistance, with the guidance, you can have people guide you on what the overall marketing strategy is, and you can guide people to do the work in terms of what you want your brand to be. But that is not necessarily doing it yourself. Doing it yourself, like that's where we would argue you should be at, where you're kind of taking an active role, but everything is not about you. Now, having said that, I believe I'm going to be handing it off to my co-host, Umar, and we can, after a brief message, get into the, I guess, the demonstration. Umar?
Yep, sounds good. Could you please change it to the next slide?
Yep.
Okay, so before we get started into the demo, I just wanted to give you guys a quick overview of our referral partner offer that we have right now. So part of how Treadstone Law and Treadstone Group operates is we like to provide unique offers to our referral partners to help them grow their business, because we understand that if you grow, we grow as well. And like this webinar that we're conducting today, the goal is to help you conduct your business better, to improve your processes. In that same light, we offer discounted rates to our referral partners. The rates are listed on the screen. And one of the promotions we have going on right now is that every referral that you send to us, we make a free testimonial video with the client. So meaning our staff reach out to the client, have a video discussion on their experiences, and then we record the video, we edit the video, and then we send you the copy of the edit along with the raw files for you to edit if you want, so that you can use that in the advertising process. One reason that this is important is today we're going over the nurturing process in the marketing funnel. And as Harris mentioned, you get the lead, you need to nurture the lead. And so what a lot of our referral partners do is they use these testimonial videos in both getting the lead, but also nurturing the lead, right? Because it has value in both of those categories. So it's a great way for you to be able to improve your marketing funnel that you have in place. Harris, if you could switch to the next slide.
Yeah, before I do it, I just wanted to add, I know you covered everything. It was fantastic, but I just wanted to say this has been catching fire with a lot of people, because the videos I know a lot of people are striving for Google reviews. You should, and I'm not saying don't, but the videos makes it more real because you see a person saying stuff, and that's why we say this is part of the flywheel. So you already have spent so much time working with the client. By actually doing these testimonial videos, it actually at the end of the day reinforces in their mind what an amazing experience they had with you. So they're closer to brand ambassadorship, and it also moves them to actually propagating your brand. But yeah, okay.
There are studies where if someone talks about how they're thankful for a particular thing, then they become more thankful for that thing. So as they're talking about how they had a great experience with Brad when you helped them buy the house, then they're more thankful for that experience that they had with Brad. Yeah, okay. You can move to the next. So one more thing. So in the demo today, my goal really is covering as much as possible in lead nurturing, but the topic is pretty broad. There's a lot that can be done with ChatGPT, not just in lead nurturing, in lead generation, in operations, in every aspect of your business. So one of the things that we've done is we've created resources for you to be able to implement ChatGPT in every aspect of your business. So we have two main books that we've released. We have ChatGPT for Mortgage Brokers, which is on Amazon. The real estate brokers ChatGPT is not currently on Amazon, but I think it's going to be published on Amazon within about a week, but it has been released. So you can either buy it for $349, or you can receive a free copy if you send one referral file to Treadstone Law. So you receive a free copy of ChatGPT for real estate brokers. Again, this covers everything. So any aspect of your business, it shows you what you can do, how you can implement the ChatGPT into that process. And then, of course, when you go through that process, then you're able to also get more creative with ChatGPT, because now you understand what the limits really are, which is part of what I wanted to cover in the demo today, trying to help you understand what ChatGPT really is. Because what I've found the biggest challenge is most people don't understand what it is. There's a lot of misunderstanding in what it can do and how you interact with it as a tool. Harris, do you have anything else to add to this before we jump to the demo?
No. Sounds good.
Okay, let me share my screen. That should work. Okay, so first thing, what I've done is the demo, I wanted to take a layered approach. So the goal here is a few things. The first goal is helping you understand what ChatGPT is not, because that's the biggest thing. If you challenge what your understanding of what it is not, then you're able to understand how to use it effectively. And when we do that, we're also going to layer the approach in terms of what you're going to learn today. So first, we're going to understand what it's not by using ChatGPT as well. And second, what we're going to do is we're going to understand where you're going to start when you're embarking on your journey to implement lead nurturing in your systems, and then how you're going to get more and more advanced. Because if you don't understand the foundation, you're not going to understand the more advanced applications. My goal is trying to cover as much as possible. I know time is limited because there's so much that could be covered, but hopefully by the end, as we're going through this, you have at least some idea of what you can do with ChatGPT starting tomorrow, starting today, how you can implement it into your systems. So the biggest misconception I would say for ChatGPT is that it is Google on steroids. That it is a tool that will answer your questions the same way Google answers your questions. So instead of you entering a query into Google and clicking 10 different links and finding the right answer in those links, you ask a question into ChatGPT and it will answer that question, and then you save 15 minutes, right? So while that is what ChatGPT does, that is a very, very narrow definition of ChatGPT. In its essence, ChatGPT goes beyond what Google does. What Google does is it's matching your question to the answer. So maybe it is using AI, but maybe it's taking repetitive keywords to understand what you're looking for and then providing you the answer that you're looking for and hoping that's the right websites. It's looking at authority, links, et cetera, et cetera. So anyone who understands how SEO works, it gives you an idea of how Google is matching the question to the answer. The difference with ChatGPT is it's going beyond just a logical matching of word to word. What it's doing is it's understanding the meaning behind that word. And that is critical in understanding how you can use ChatGPT better. Because when you understand the fact that it can understand meaning, that means you can say to ChatGPT literally, I'm a realtor. And then it's going to answer, hello, how may I assist you as a realtor, right? So now it's understanding, what do I do? It's understanding the definition. So it's giving, at a basic level, it's telling you what you're doing in your day, right? So that might not be that impressive. But the reason that I'm giving you this context of it is going beyond just matching words to words and it's going to that level of meaning is that as we get to more advanced applications of ChatGPT, you're able to use this tool of its understanding to use it more and more and more effectively. The sky is the limit, and they keep on releasing better and better versions of the algorithm. So it's even in its capacity to understand, it's getting better and better and better. So you'll often hear that I asked it a question and it got it wrong, right? So that question that it got wrong relates to the fact that you're thinking that ChatGPT's value is only in that Google mechanism, right? So sometimes it might get it wrong, but you have to look beyond that Google mechanism and see that there is the meaning that it's understanding where we're getting the real value. So with that foundation, so the next layer, the first step I would say when you're taking any project, any department that you're implementing ChatGPT is understanding that you need to understand the subject matter, right? So if I want to, it's similar to, let's say tomorrow you decide you want to start a marketing department at your realty firm, right? So in that marketing department, you're going to have different people that are doing different things, but you would need to identify the roles. You would need to identify what the goals are for each of those roles. And you would have to provide some kind of job description and some kind of direction to each of those roles. In that similar light, what you would be doing is you're acting as a chief marketing officer. And that's the same way you would approach ChatGPT. You would say, look, I have this vision of what I need to do with my marketing systems. And I know that at a high level, these are the different components I need to add to my systems. But now I need ChatGPT to help me execute on that vision. And so the reason I emphasize this instead of the Google mechanism is that ChatGPT is about efficiency. It's about taking your 40-hour work week and making it as productive as an 80-hour work week or 100 or 200-hour work week. It's multiplying your hours. So everything that you're doing, you're able to do a lot more, but you need to know what you're doing. That's the thing, right? So you need to know what the goal is, but you can just achieve more goals in the week. So that's the context. So now when we talk about knowing what you're doing, so the most basic level for us today is understanding marketing funnels. So that's why Harris went over what marketing funnels are, what marketing flywheels are, what lead nurturing is. But the good news is if you don't understand those things, ChatGPT can still help you understand them first and then move to the next layer of getting into more complex implementations of the technology. So the first layer, you can use ChatGPT as that Google, or just as an assistant that's providing different information to be able to understand the thing that you want to do and then execute and do that thing. So a good example is, let's say I don't know what a marketing funnel is. So actually, before I continue, for those of you who haven't used ChatGPT, you'll notice I cleared the chat, right? So I click new chat up here. Whenever you're doing anything in ChatGPT, you want to segregate the chats because each of them are self-enclosed. So everything you're doing in one chat is enclosed. You can ask other questions in it, but it's not best practice because you want it to work within one reality, one framework, one area, because you don't want to confuse it, right? You want it to save as much data as it can in that area so that it can help you better as you're asking it more and more questions. So I don't know what a marketing funnel is, right? So I say outline the stages of a marketing funnel. At a basic level, it's providing me that answer. It's going to break down each of the stages. Now, it might have what Harris mentioned, it might not. It looks like it's generally what it was, because that's the most common. No, so I think we had the 4-stage funnel.
Yeah, just about in. Yeah, I had the 4-stage, and this is, I guess, given the 6.
And it's also going into the after sales, right? So advocacy. So it's doing the funnel where it opens up again on the bottom, right? So if anyone's seen the charts. Now, maybe I want to use this, maybe I don't, right? So let's say I don't want to use this. You could literally in the conversation mention I saw a different funnel online. Or let's say, well, let's let it answer this. Or let's say, perfect, it's mentioning the flywheel as well. So this is performing that Google function, but at a obviously more concise, more effective, saving some time, but obviously not at the level that we want to get to use it effectively. Harris, you wanted to?
Yeah, I just want to butt in quickly. You see my mouth open, I'm like waiting for you to finish the sentence. But it did go over. So, for example, now that you said it, it did say another common model is the IDA. So that's what I had: IDA, awareness, interest, decision, and action. So it did bring up what we were using earlier, and then brought up exactly the flywheel stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So in an ideal scenario, you have built out your funnels, whether you used ChatGPT to understand the stages, whether you use the IDA model, whether you use this one up here, you have understood what the stages you have, and you've built kind of the skeleton for the structure of your marketing processes, right? So for whatever reason, maybe you read some articles here, maybe you read a book, maybe whatever you did, you built out the stages. And always in those stages, there's going to be some area related to nurturing, right? So what lead nurturing is and why it's important and how you're going to be doing lead nurturing. Now, the next stage, so beyond that, what you would do is, let's say you've built out your funnel and now you've built out the skeleton of the process. Now you need to move to the creative aspect of the process. So you built out the skeleton. Now you need to understand what are the different ways I can nurture leads, right? So that is another area that you can use ChatGPT to fill in the meat in the bones, right? So to understand what are the different ways I can nurture leads. So you can ask ChatGPT again. Like, this is not an advanced use case yet. We're building towards that. The first stage was building the skeleton. Now we're adding the meat. So give me 10 ways as a realtor I can nurture leads. Horrible sentence, but now I've done this question many times. And one of the reasons I asked this question is to show you guys one common issue you face with ChatGPT and how you can resolve that issue. But the issue does not arise in every single training session. So we'll see. Hopefully it does, just so that I can point it out. But otherwise, I'll explain. It's telling you to be patient as well. Nice. Okay, so now, so lead nurturing. So as we mentioned, lead nurturing is you're carrying them through that process towards deciding to work with you. Now, send personalized follow-up emails. Okay, that's lead nurturing. Offer value-add content, social media, host events, great customer service. I would not consider this as lead nurturing. This is the sale process. Offer a personalized experience, customize your approach to each lead by asking questions about their preferences, their needs. That is nurturing. Um, Video marketing, keep in touch. Great. I mean, that's not nurturing, but it is something you can do yourself to during the nurturing process. So the point I'm trying to highlight is some of the things in here are not lead nurturing. This is it helps you, but it's not lead nurturing. Offer a personalized service, customer service, exceptional customer service. That's not lead nurturing. You should be doing that, but it's not lead nurturing. Now, while this might not be a big deal, it might not seem like a big deal, it is, because right now at this stage, you're trying to define the different things that you're going to be doing in the lead nurturing process. So what I'm trying to demonstrate here is sometimes ChatGPT misunderstands your questions, answers them wrong, does the wrong thing. And one of the things that you need to do when you face that situation, this can happen in any context, in any part of this, in the use cases, is you have to define terms. And you don't have to define those terms. You have to get ChatGPT to define those terms. You just have to get it to define them. So the first thing that I would do in this circumstance is I would start a new chat and I would ask ChatGPT to define them. So I would say, what is the difference? And the best way to define is to define it in contrast to something else, right? So what is the difference between lead nurturing and lead generation? So now within this chat, it's going to define the terms. Now, when I'm speaking to it next, when I'm saying something else to it, it's going to use that definition within the context of that chat. So if it had defined it differently, or like in in the demo in the last chat where I didn't define it, it took whatever information it could find in that moment, and it used that information to interpret my question and then answer my question. Now it has additional context to answer my question. Right? So it's defined lead generation, process of identifying potential customers, et cetera, and the process of building relationships with potential customers and guiding them through the sales funnel. That's a great definition. And then it fleshes that out a little. So now when I ask it, again, hopefully this works, but sometimes it does, sometimes generate 10 lead nurturing ideas for a realtor. Right away, it's better than the last list. Okay, so right away, it's improved on that last list. It's provided you targeted approaches to guide someone through that sales funnel. Just because you made it define, you had it define the definition first, and then you added the question. So to recap, so then we had the skeleton, which was more, I would say, I divided also like divided based on the type of work that you're doing. So that first stage is very analytical. You're defining stages. You're rationally defining the stage that the individual is in the marketing journey. The second stage is more creative now. So now perhaps either you're doing the lead generation, you have to get creative. How are you going to do that? You're doing lead nurturing, you have to get creative. How are you going to achieve that goal? So this is the creative side where ChatGPT can still help because it's scouring through the internet, or it has, and found all the different ways that people have mentioned that they would nurture leads. Now, perhaps I pick one of those. I can then explore that particular method with ChatGPT. So, but before I do that, I wanted to now move into the next layer. The next layer I kind of dropped early on, where I mentioned I am a realtor. So that's important. And we also dropped it here. We said ideas for a realtor. So we're mentioning that we're a realtor. The next layer that you need to understand is that you are training each chat individually. So each chat is its own isolated conversation and you're training it. So what I would do if I was building something out for any department for a realtor would be the first thing you say is I am an Ontario realtor, and then blah blah blah, whatever else you need after that, right? So say I'm an Ontario realtor, etc. You often or not always will you get Ontario specific things, but sometimes you will. But at the very least, you will get realtor specific things, right? So it will understand the context within which it's working and be an assistant for you as an Ontario realtor, right? As opposed to either not a realtor. Okay, so any questions so far before we move into? You can drop them in the questions or in the chat. Harris?
Umar, I just wanted to add one thing. I know because you're getting very technical and it can be dry at times. And I just wanted to make one comment. Actually, since ChatGPT got released at the beginning of this year, there's actually jobs popping up for prompt engineers. So they've created an entire job out of this, and they're actually paying six figures, at least in the States, for people who can understand the boundaries. Now, I don't think it's that crazy. I think that a lot of people, like a lot of you looking at this, may think this is very simple, or some people may be overwhelmed. We are going to be sending out a recording after this, so you can actually look over what the boundaries Umar is, like the fence he's putting up in every single question, and then kind of move from there. But yeah, Umar, take it away.
Yeah. So just to emphasize the what was the prompt engineering aspect, or the importance of getting good questions as well, is that what we've done over time is we've broken down how we use ChatGPT in different departments into resources where we will save and catalog different questions that we ask for different stages. So over time, what I would recommend is build out the questions that are working, the questions that are not working for you. One thing that you should always understand is how I demonstrated here, that within this chat now it thinks that I'm an Ontario realtor, and then I can ask questions within that context. What you would do when you're building out your marketing funnel is you would have a chat for different stages of your marketing funnel. So what we do is we have different chats for different stages, and then we train ChatGPT on that particular funnel overall, and then the specific details of that funnel. So maybe you have triggers that move someone from one stage to another. Maybe you have different things that you're doing for lead generation that are specific to maybe a type of branding that you're doing. You're using certain language. You can tell ChatGPT that I have a my marketing theme is ABC, right? And this is the slogan that I generally use. I work in this market, and these are the different details related to how I'm marketing. Now, within that context, now help me. So then it will use all of that information, and then you'll be able to make yourself even more efficient, save a ton more time with getting more specific assistance. So to layer this further, so let's say now you are looking to build out your lead nurturing campaign, but you need to maybe make your content more specific. So one of the things that I would recommend is the next stage is I'm an Ontario realtor. Provide me different potential client personas. Right, so this is the context that you would give ChatGPT. So it's going to build out the different personas. Now, maybe you want to build a campaign for first-time home buyers. Now you would add that to your initial prompt. I'm Ontario realtor. I'm working on my lead nurturing campaign. This lead nurturing campaign is for lead generation that I did for first-time buyers. Now give me 10 different ideas maybe, or work on this specific idea. Maybe you're doing, let's say your lead nurturing campaign includes short newsletters, right? Or maybe it includes video content specifically for that particular type of client. ChatGPT can then help you for that specific client to make those scripts, to make those, which we'll go over later on too, or to make those newsletters, et cetera, et cetera. So you're getting more specific. You don't have to. This is an optional stage. Personally, I would start very broad if you're starting off and you are just looking to grab leads and nurture them. But as you obviously grow, as you're getting more clients in, then you're getting more specific in each of the different categories, and then you're able to get higher conversions, more conversions in your marketing funnel as well. So let me see. I just have my notes here so I keep on track, because I know I always go over time, and I want to make sure I cover everything for you guys. I think yeah, so we can move on then. Okay, so let's assume you've now established you want to work on first-time home buyers, right? So now you want ChatGPT to help you with the most commonly used lead nurturing method, which is email campaigns, right? So now, again, what you would do is you would start by building out the structure of an email campaign that's specific to that information. I'm going to start with all the information that I need it to learn in this chat. Again, what we just mentioned. I am an Ontario realtor. I am creating a lead nurturing campaign for first-time buyers. My lead nurturing, I actually don't need to talk this much. We can do I'm creating a lead nurturing email campaign for first-time buyers. Write it for me, build it for me. Let's see what it does with this. Okay, so right now in this, so like I mentioned earlier, the questions that you asked, I could ask this exact same question and it might understand it differently within the context of a different conversation if I said something else earlier, or even if I started a new chat. So when you notice this and maybe you're not getting the goal you want, what you have to do is you have to layer that with just being more specific, right? So in this, what I said was build it for me, and it understood it as I need you to give me the structure, but I can get it to write the actual emails as well, right? So it gave me this answer. Maybe I don't want to start another chat. I like the structure. The structure is good. It gives me the goals. Now I'm going to say write the emails. Now, what you would also do is you would add your name, so it can insert that. I mean, of course, you can do that easily, but it's able to insert that in each of the emails. You can add your company name. It will insert that in each of the emails. One of the things that I do, I'll go over that after this finishes. I'll show you guys some tricks where you can.
Umar, as this is loading, I did want to make one comment. So you guys are seeing this. Hopefully everybody's seeing this. Like, it's just drafting the emails themselves. Now, as much as like you're seeing how powerful ChatGPT is, it's not the cure for stupidity. So you don't want to just copy and paste this and move this over to whatever campaign you want to do. Not only because you want to make sure that everything, like, read it over once, but also this does a lot of the heavy lifting, but you also want to personalize it, right? So in fact, like, the reality is if we ask the same question again in another chat, it's going to give us the same emails written in different ways. So the duplication of content is minimal, but you still want to personalize it. So, and this is me talking more from the marketing mindset. I know Umar's talking about just developing the emails. So you want to take this. It's a good first step. 80% of it's done. Add a few things about yourself and refine it in that sense.
I think that was great advice. And what I would add too is when you're giving the prompts, the more information you give, the better too, right? So if you feel that there's information about yourself, anything, literally anything that you like to provide when you're speaking to a potential client, whether it's your experience, to particular areas that you're more familiar with, whatever it is, if you provide that information during the prompt stage, it's going to include them in the email stage, right? So you're able to get it to add some personalization, and then of course, as Harris mentioned, read everything through, make sure that everything is personalized and relatable and meets the goals that you have personally. What I would also add then is, so there's another layer to it. So let's say we want to focus on email one. Okay, so I could reference email one in the chat, but I'm going to do this. What one way is I just copied it and then I say, shorten this email, and then it will write the same thing, but in shorter format. What I could say is reduce the vocabulary. It will write the same thing, but using more simple terms, right? Or increase the vocabulary. So you're able to tweak as you want each email based on how you want it written, what you feel will resonate with a particular target market, demographic, whatever else it is, you're able to do that. Now, one secret hack that not many people know is that ChatGPT can do this in over 100 languages. So you can literally make email campaigns in different languages in Latinized and non-Latinized text, right? So this is game changing, right? So it can understand. I can literally tell it right now, translate this and into whatever language, and it will do that, right? So I thought that was a pretty cool feature.
And the other thing is we're using the free version because it's accessible to everyone. There is, like, if you look on the bottom left, it says upgrade to Plus. I would definitely go for Plus. Plus is actually connected to the internet. This is only connected to, like, I think it has up to 2021 data, so it's not like current. Up the Plus, ChatGPT Plus, and it's like $20 a month. It'll give you a lot more features, and it's even better than what we're putting in front of you. So it just steps up the game even more on what it can produce.
Yeah. So just like related to that as well, like how crazy ChatGPT the paid version is, how amazing it is, and what it can do. Realistically speaking, I know a lot of people think this is there's a lot of hype around it that they may not feel, or some people think that they may not feel is realistic. The reality is, after you use this, you will realize that most of our jobs are not going to be the same in, I would say, 2 years. That's how drastic this changes. And this is just one tech company's version of it. Google has their own version that they haven't released a public bot yet. I think they're in the beta stage, or they've released to some people. And what's Baidu? Baidu has their own. There's 4 or 5 total companies working on this stuff, and it's going to change a lot of industries completely. So this is similar to getting to working with, let's say, social media when it first came out. When you saw social media came out, first people thought, okay, this is not a big deal. What is it doing? And then the people that were first movers, even if they didn't do this stuff as effectively as it should have been done, they were consistent and they kept doing it. Now you see 1 million, 2 million, 10 million followers, tons of business. Every industry has those individuals that started early. Now, I know for some people it might be early, mid, late stage in their career, whatever stage you're in, I think this has the potential to right away today start changing at least how you're doing your business. Maybe you don't want to take over the entire industry and make $1 billion, but maybe you just want to make your life easier today. The clients that you are working on, this can do that, right? So the clients that maybe you finished working with a client yesterday, you can start a campaign to provide them that value upfront right away more efficiently. So the last layer I also wanted to add to it. So let's say now we built our email campaigns.
Sorry, can you just wrap it up with this last layer? We've got 3 minutes. And I think Mike wants to get on the golf course. So
so I had one more. So the last layer was, so let's say you have your lead nurturing campaign, you're doing you have an email campaign, maybe you're using digital marketing to get those leads in. And one of the commonly used methods to nurture leads with digital marketing is retargeting campaigns, right? So you're targeting people who have interacted with you, you're nurturing them, and then you're able to convert them into leads. One way is making video content. So this is huge for ChatGPT. And what I would say is, I'm going to give you a general idea, but the sky's the limit in how you can use it. So the most basic thing, which I'll cover right now, is just getting ChatGPT to write your script. So my name is Power Broker. I am in Ontario. It's gonna bother me. I am an Ontario realtor. Write a script for me for a lead nurturing video for first time home buyers. Now this is taking that heavy lifting, that stress, or that time of, okay, I have to figure out how I'm going to write this script, spend all that time. All you have to do is focus on recording that script, and then of course getting the footage to drop in between. So 2 things I'm going to say quickly before I end it off is 1 minute. So first thing I'm going to say is, what you can do is you can start structuring the scripts by telling ChatGPT what to do. So one thing I would do is I would say, okay, the first line is the most important. I want this is you speaking to ChatGPT. I want you to give me 10 options for the first line I see in my video for something that's catchy, something that will make people listen. It will list out 10 lines for you. And the next thing that you could do is you have all these shots that it's giving you in the middle, right? So maybe you don't have video footage. What are free resources for stock video footage? And then it gives you free resources. So sky's the limit in terms of this stuff. I think that ends it. I think that ends off my demo.
All right. No, the thing is we could be here all day. Quite literally, we could be here all day and start just keep giving you more stuff on this. But we gotta wrap it up. I just want if everyone can give us some feedback, how useful you thought this was, 1 to 5. 5 being very useful, and if you'd like to see any other versions of this this webinar series to get more information. And as you guys are entering that, I just want to say, so for example, this entire video thing, you could take this and you can move this over to Fiverr and actually get this entire production done at a very inexpensive manner. Like I know a lot of people before were like, you know what, if I need to create any kind of videos for whether it's like YouTube or anything else, TV ads, it gets expensive because you have to hire all this stuff. Now you can actually from your computer build out a lot. So yeah, Jamie says this is good. Thanks. Okay, yeah, no, appreciate. Yeah, so I would say I agree with Alex. Start experimenting with this. There is so much potential. Like we could go on all day, every day about this. To be honest, now ChatGPT is on my computer. There's always a ChatGPT window open. But yeah, thanks for coming on. I know we're going over. If you guys have any questions, we are going to be sending out an email with everyone with the recording. You can and you'll have our email addresses too. Don't be afraid to reach out if you want to take advantage of the referral partner offer. We've got the book. The book will go through so much more than what we've gone through today, and it'll actually help you structure everything. It's always a good resource to have. And you also have our any referral. We're going to be doing testimonial videos. So we're not only helping you do the ChatGPT stuff. We want to actually help you build out testimonial videos because we've done it, and we know it looks amazing. So thank you guys for your time, and we'll see you hopefully on another webinar.